today we're talking about property analysis. How do you take those properties you looked at and figure out what price point you should offer at if it's a viable project? I rarely go out to see the properties because of the work we're doing today, and I'm going to show you all of that. So the work I asked you to do, the homework, was to go through the MLS based on the previous lesson, which was, this is what you want to look for, right? Is it distressed sale? Is it a fixer-upper? Is it estate sales? Is it a bankruptcy? Is it a foreclosure? So from there, there's thousands upon thousands of properties out there, and you want to take that list of thousands and narrow it down to maybe a few hundred every day, and parcel out an hour time in the morning, and you go through that list. Okay, so you go through, of the hundreds of properties, these 10 sort of fit the criteria I'm looking for. Now, I look for condominiums that are old, that are generally between 14 and 1,800 square feet. The price point has to be 10% profit margin, which we're going to get in today and how I determine that. And then once you figure out that short list, maybe it's 10 to 12 to 15 or 20, I try and get to 20, 25 offers a day. And offers, we don't mean physical, well, we mean physical offers, but not all the time. Some of the times you want to make sure you're just submitting letter of intentions, which we talk about, which is essentially just your intention that you will move forward with it if the terms are there, if the terms are right between you and the seller. Mm-hmm. So what we want to talk about today is deal analysis. So from last week, we talked about how to narrow and whittle this down, and then we're into the system today. Let's see here. So of the saved searches, I generally start with estate sales because to me,
that's what I used.
All right. There's a lot of them. Kids generally don't care. A lot of times if kids aren't involved, the executors are just a lawyer and they're just processing paperwork. They don't care. Now there's some, like here's a good example. We mentioned this property last week. Find it here.
Yeah, like the church, the Carlton one.
Here, so this one here.
Yeah.
It's an estate sale.
Right.
There's an estate trustee. Okay. It doesn't look like there's a relation. So there may not be heirs to the estate, meaning the courts have to decide who gets the money. Is it a long lost relative? Is it the courts? Is it the crown gets the money back? So that you have to determine. You'll get through that through probate court. Now here it says all offers to be conditional of receiving probate. See that?
Mm-hmm.
So that scares away 99% of people. They don't understand it. They don't want to wait because probate court in a good market might take 4 months. We're in COVID times. I've known people in probate for 8 months, 9 months. So people don't want to wait 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 months to close a property. Okay, so they want to make sure that probate is done and clear title is done prior to doing the acquisition or the closing. And your lawyers would do the same thing. They would say, look, you can't move forward with this. For me, that's a golden opportunity. I have the ability. I've got the investment wherewithal to know that I'm happy to wait 6, 7, 8 months because I got other projects in the pipeline. So it doesn't really matter. I'll just sort of fit it in the future whenever they're ready. Now, I also have the flexibility. They may say, hey, it's going to take 8 months. And the probate may say, hey, it only took 4 months. I have that flexibility because I'm just an investor. I don't need to sell a property. I don't need to move into the property or move out of a property. I'm just in, renovating, and I'm out again. Okay, so most sellers, most estates love working with me because of that flexibility. We just closed the deal, or not closed the deal. We just acquired the deal last week, about 2 weeks ago. And they wanted originally a December closing. They'd call me back after we did the deal. And they said, look, plans have changed. I need to move to January. It's fine with me. I just put another project into December in its place. And then that moved out to January. And then just this last week, they said, look, we need to move the closing out again. We finally found a place to purchase, but the closing's not till March. That's fine with me. Now, we actually asked for a price reduction to satisfy that. And they said, absolutely. So now I got the property for even cheaper than what I did. And from there, we're going to say, okay, you move it to March. If they want to move to June, I'm okay with that too. It doesn't make a difference to me because now that I have a vacancy in January that I don't have a project for January, I'll go today and find another project for January, put it on our contract, get it scheduled for January, and so on and so forth. So most investors, if they understand that philosophy and realize that you don't have to do just one property, and condominium flipping is fantastic because you really don't need a lot of capital and you get these things done so fast that I can literally parcel in there by the month, right? So I could say, look, I need 3 projects for January and 2 for December because December is generally a slow time with contractors. that's just through experiences because they need breaks too. They have families. They want to, they don't want to work through the holidays. But so we'll do less projects in December, and we'll sort of pick up in January. And then as we get into the newer year, February, March, assuming we have no more shutdowns, we'll be ramped up again, maybe 3 or 4 projects a month. And you can do that consistently throughout the year. Okay. So the key is defining the properties. So today we want to talk about deal analysis. Now, do you have addresses or properties that you found last week? And we'll analyze some of these, and I'll show you some of mine, and we'll see what the difference is.
Sure. Well, that one on Jarvis.
So Carlton.
Yeah, sorry, Carlton. Yeah, we have in common.
Okay.
I
don't think it's a good deal, but anyways.
Oh, you don't?
Well, I'll show you why, but anyways.
Okay.
It depends what you can get it for. Let's put it that way.
Yeah, I mean that's always the case, right?
Yeah. So do you have other properties? We'll go through them all. If you give me just give me like 5 or 6, use the best ones.
Okay.
Do you remember what they are?
I had a short list, so I like the. Hold on a second. Okay. So I have 2. You want the MLS numbers?
No, just give me the addresses.
296 Mills Street Road, Penthouse 1.
Okay. Next.
I have 12. How many do you want me to narrow it down?
Just give me you think the top 5.
2365 Queen Street East, Unit 404.
Okay.
The Heath Street, I think 260 Heath Street West, 1002.
Okay.
Out of curiosity, I just want right downtown. Let's try 278 Bloor Street East, 406.
All right. So let's start with the first one here, Carlton. So I go into our system. Now, once I've taken down the search from thousands to hundreds to now I've decided we're going to do these top 5. Okay. Well, let's see if we can figure out if these 5 places are something we want to entertain. All right. So we want to know, based on a deal analysis or property analysis, can we make our 10% profit margin, which is sort of the green light for me and should be the green light for you. And investors always get into trouble when they say, yeah, I'm okay with 5%, which maybe equates to 40 or 50,000 profit, which that's not a good way to get into investing. And the reason being, there's a lot of things that can go wrong and potentially will go wrong for your project, especially if you're starting out. So if it doesn't sell and it takes long to carry, those carrying costs will eat away at your profit. So the 10% is a very good buffer. And look, you can find it. I'll show you one project we just did. We had like a 44% return on the investment. So very healthy return on the profit. So 10% really needs to be an absolute minimum. Anything below that, I'll talk to you about when you get into the higher end stuff. It sometimes is worth your time because, again, if it's 8% of a $2 million sale, 160,000 profit may be worth your time. But we'll get into that. Okay. So now you've narrowed down to 5 properties. I then go back into this search criteria, and I want to know what the history of sales are. Now, if you're a realtor, you have access to an MLS system. That's great. If you're an investor and you don't, you can ask a realtor that you most likely will be working with on your team to give you these numbers. So you want to know what the history of the building has been of sales, recent sales. If there's no recent sales, then you want to see if there's a way you can calculate the future cost or the current cost of that project based on past sales. And how I do that, I just go into the system. I enter in the specific building. So we got the these are sale history, okay, and we have the new property. So we got this one means new, which is the one 502 is on the market, which is the one I think we're going to look at, right? 502, and then we also have this 302. So basically the same unit, right? Just 2 floors down. This one's at 959. This one's at 799, which is why originally I thought this was a potentially good deal. Why I don't potentially like it is, so how I know. So condominium maintenance costs, there's a monthly maintenance fee in condominiums, and that is calculated on a price per square foot. There's only a few buildings in the city and across the country that I know of that go outside of that calculation. There's a building downtown where they do the same maintenance for everybody in the entire building, whether you own a big place or a small place. It's very strange. but it's just an average maintenance. So there's very few and far between. The average maintenance is a price calculation based on the price per square foot. So this maintenance fee will reflect the same square footage. So you'll see that 502 has the same maintenance as 302. It's because they're the same unit or same square footage. Okay. 1105 and 607 are not the same unit, and 1105 has the same maintenance fee. So it's the same square footage. So it may be configured differently or on a different side of the building, but it is the same square footage. All right. The reason why why you want to know that is because you want a price when it comes to condominium pricing and valuations. It's generally based on a square footage basis. Okay. And that's how most people buy. And you need to know that because on the back end with homes, for example, you can have a unique home that someone's willing to pay more for because there's no other home like it on the neighborhood or in the block. Okay. Condominiums, generally buyers will come in and say, hey, if 302 got that number, I'm going to give you that for 502. That's generally how it works. So you want to know that back end valuation of price per square foot. So when it comes to these units, okay, so at 979, you're not going to make any money. Okay. I can tell you right now. If you get that on the back end valuation, on the back end price. Now, if you have luck like 607 did 2 years ago, and the market was red hot back then, they have a smaller property at 971 maintenance because we know it's smaller, it's based on square footage, right? Follow so far? And they got more money. So they got a higher price per square foot at a $1,006,000. So, and this is more in the lines of what I would renovate. This is the look of something I would do. You can see it's a very high-end, nice finished property. They've owned it for a few years. They originally paid $569 for it. They probably didn't have intentions of flipping it, but they certainly did a good job on the renovation. And then they ultimately sold it for a high price, the highest price per square foot ever in the building. All right.
Okay.
Now when it comes to that, we want to know the price per square foot based on this number here. So they have 1,370 square feet. Okay. So if you get out the calculator, that's going to be $1,006,000. So all I do is 1,000,000 divided by 1,370. 734 a square foot, and if you go over to this unit, the property we're looking at, you multiply that number 734 a square foot. This one, I think it was 14 and change. They're wrong on this. It's 1465. Okay, they're wrong. The agent didn't do their homework. They say it's 14. It's not. It's 1465 because there's another unit sold the same square footage. So the top end price, if you got what these other people got, is going to be $1,075,000. Okay. So now we want to analyze the property. Now that we have that number, and the reason why I need these numbers is because in our spreadsheet, there's a few things you need to know. All right. This is so you get this. You have access to this if you're watching this. If you're one of our clients and you're on our coaching call. We'll have access to this spreadsheet. You can download it, use it yourself. It's editable. All you got to do is plug in three numbers: the square footage, what you think you could buy it for, and what you think you could sell it for on the back end. Okay. So I want to go through this in detail. This is our spreadsheet. So at the very top, we're going to put in the property that we're interested in looking at. Number 502. Was it? And then here we want to enter what the square footage is. Now this works for homes or condos. In homes, you need to know this as well. Reason why you want to know the square footage is this spreadsheet will calculate the construction cost based on that number. Follow?
Yep.
Okay. So here we're going to enter 1,465 square feet. If my computer loads, slow today. Okay, 1,465. So as we did 1,465, down here, you haven't seen it yet, but the construction cost number has changed. Okay, so we're estimating based on $50 a square foot, which is here, $50 a square foot. It's going to be $70,000 renovation. That's the estimate. All right.
Okay.
In 15 years, I've only gone over this budget for condominiums once, maybe twice. And the second one was like $51 or something. It wasn't much, but there was one that were way over. We were like $58 a square foot. It was way over. But we got the price we want on the back end, and for that overpay because they paid for it. And we over improved the property, which we shouldn't have. But we had to on this one because we couldn't sell it. So we had to do more work to it just to get it sold. But regardless of that, it's a very consistent number when you're doing just a renovation. And homes, if you can find the right mix of home, you can sort of get that budget for renovation as well. And when you're into like new construction, putting on additions, when you're doing like new construction, infill sites, building a home, building a duplex or triplex, that number goes up significantly because you have to deal with windows and roofs and doors and all sorts of stuff. Okay. So if you ever want to change that, for example, spreadsheet's not working today. If you ever want to change that, you literally just scroll down here and you say, my cost, because I like high-end stuff, is $65 a square foot. And the spreadsheet will reflect $65 a square foot. Follow?
Yep.
You don't need to spend that kind of money. If you want to spend that kind of money, you can. But for me, $50 a square foot on a condominium renovation is more than enough money for any renovation and any contractor to pay. Anybody charging more than that, either they're taking you for a ride or you don't know how to do the construction, because most of our projects are in this sort of like $35 to $38 a square foot range. And they're very beautiful high-end stuff. If you haven't seen our stuff, I'll show you some. But again, we have some good projects we've done over the years. So that's square footage, and that's why it's important is because it calculates construction costs. And then we need to know what we think we could purchase it for. So we literally go into here, we literally just punch in, they're asking $799 for now. Let's just say we're going to give them full price. Okay. Which we won't, but let's say we do. All right. Mm-hmm. So from $799, this calculates now the land transfer tax. It calculates your legal cost, your mortgage cost, your second mortgage cost, your carrying cost. So it's an important number. Okay. So that's why I'm saying we'll spend some time on that valuation, but for now, we're just going to put in $799. All right. Then we want to estimate what we think the projected back end sale price would be, not necessarily on best case scenario, but on the best case scenario, it was $1,075,000 based on price per square foot of that other unit. Follow so far?
Yep.
Worst case scenario, there was two sales now at $979. So I'm going to put in $979, and we'll show you why in a minute why we're going to change that. And then we can go through, and that's all you need to know to make your assessment. And what the spreadsheet does, it pre-populates this. So the percentage return here, project return, see that?
Yeah.
The project return is based on a 10% minimum return.
Okay.
So if it lights up red, it's below 10%.
So it's a no-go.
It's a no-go. Now, if you go into best case scenario, which is $1,075,000, which the other person got, it bumps it up to 10%.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a go if you can get that number. And it's a big if. There's no other history other than one unit in the building. So to me, I'd be on the fence about this one.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Now, that being said, there's a few things you can change. Say, look, that's full asking price. It's been on the market now for how many days? Two months or something. 24 days, not long. Okay. But we know that they have probate. The probate, not issue, but they have to go through probate. That's going to take months, and there's not a lot of people who necessarily want that. Okay. Mm-hmm. So let's say we're the only people who want to buy this thing. I'm going to say, look, I'm going to give, now there's a few gurus, coaches, whatever out there will say, just give 80% of the asking price on any property and go through offers really quickly. I don't think that's wise because you're going to get more no's. They're basically going to be all no's. It's very rare. Now, that being said, I've purchased many properties for well below 80% of loan to value or the asking price. And I've bought properties at 50%, 50 cents on the dollar. And I've bought properties at 60% on the dollar. You have to ask for it, of course. If you want to go low, go low. It doesn't hurt. I'm just saying you may be wasting your time going that low, especially in a city like Toronto, where the real estate is quite hot. Still, well, downtown market's being hurt right now with COVID, but you could still, most people would buy this for that price or in around that range. Okay. So let's say you gave them a realistic price of like 725. Okay. Which is probably not, it's probably not unrealistic. Let's put it that way.
Okay.
Okay. $1,075,000. It was sold in a peak hot market a couple of years ago. It was last year, I guess, last December. It was pre-COVID, but the market was really like red hot. It was like scorching. January and February were just astronaut. I've never seen numbers like that before. And then boom, COVID hit. So I don't think this is a realistic number in this market, but let's say you get $1,025,000 here. So you have a $300,000 delta. Okay, so my green lights for projects, I'm always trying to get a $400,000 delta. Why a $400,000 delta? One, I can find them. Two, there's a hell of a lot more profit to make for the same effort, time, energy, and money. You're making double the amount of money. So I'm always trying to see a $400,000 delta. Now, if you're a first-time investor, if you are someone who just wants to get in this game or try this game, you may be okay with making $119,000 in 4 weeks. It's a small place. You could easily manage this to renovate in 4 weeks. Okay, back on the market, sold. To me, it's not. Look, it hits all the numbers, right? So green light at 15% return is your percentage return based on your purchase price. Sorry, your purchase price on this acquisition cost. So it's purchase price plus your taxes to acquire it, which is called land transfer taxes. Now, this is also a number that you can change and edit on here based on what every municipality you live in. So if you're in Vancouver, this number is different. If you're in Florida, there's basically no tax. If you're in California, this tax is even higher. So based on where you live, you just take that tax number, and over here, you take in your local municipality land transfer tax calculator, and you just type in the number. So this is for Toronto, the GTA. Okay, we have a double taxation and it's a sliding scale. So based on the price point, it changes as you go further up. So this current one is based on that number. So you're gonna have to make that calculation. So if you live outside Toronto, if you live in Winnipeg, for example, this tax is much lower. If you live in the East Coast, there is no double taxation. If you live in, like I said, in Florida, there's no tax. If you live in California, like the tax is even higher. So you will calculate this based on the property that you're looking to purchase in. If that makes sense. You don't have to live in the city to buy the property, of course. So I'm just saying, if you're doing a property analysis, this is what you need to do. So it's pre-built for you. So if you're in Toronto, you don't have to change anything. If you're outside, you'll change a few things, but not many. Mm-hmm. So based on this purchase price, plus your land transfer taxes, plus legal costs, and everyone's probably like rolling their eyes like, who pays $4,000 in legal costs? Not many people do. I do when I'm doing a property which has no money down financing. Okay. If you're doing two mortgages and one's a bridge financing, one's a collateral mortgage, and one's like just on the principal property, it costs a lot of money for legal. So I don't spend this much on most things, but all these numbers are an over calculation based on worst case scenarios. I don't want anybody listening to this or using this and getting into something and saying, hey, you said this, that, and the other, and it still didn't make any profit. I'm saying this is worst case scenario. If you can find properties based on worst case scenario that still hit these numbers, it's probably a pretty good percentage you're going to make money on the deal. All right. Follow so far?
Yep.
So again, you'll look at these numbers and say, hey, I can do better on all of this stuff. I can do better on construction costs. I can do better on legals. I can do better on the purchase price. I can do better on the sale price. Good. I hope you do. We're trying to make sure and coach you and get you to a point where you're analyzing properties that are saying these are good potential properties. Okay. Mm-hmm. So this one has a $300,000 delta. The delta return is 41%, and that's different than your projected project return. Why do you think that is?
I can't really see it. It's a little bit small, but the construction costs?
No, so you want to know your project. You want to know what the return on your investment is going to be. Let's put it that way. Okay.
Right.
The project return, why this is a more important number, this one here, is because it's a quick analysis to say if we could hit 10% of our purchase price as a profit, we know we're going to make the money that we want on our delta, which is a difference, right?
Okay.
And as you scroll down further here and you go cash on cash return or project cash requirement, this is based on 100% down financing, which means you only have to come up with the deposit and the closing costs. Okay, so that these numbers up here, these 10,000, where'd it go? These two numbers plus your legals and your deposit. Okay. So this cash requirement is $48,000. You're saying, well, that's not no money down financing. We will show you how to do financing where it's 100% paid for it, not one penny out of your pocket, which includes the construction, the closing fees, and the whole 9 yards. That's a different lesson for a different day.
Mm-hmm.
This is based on just you're paying closing fees, plus you have a first mortgage and a second mortgage to buy the property and do the construction cost. Okay, but we will show you how to get even more than that on a different lesson on a different day. So if you're putting down $48,000 on this deal, your cash on cash return is into the 245% range because the projected return is $119,000.
Right.
Okay. So you're investing 48, you're going to get back 119,000 plus your original investment of 48,000.
Oh, okay. So really you're getting back closer to 180 or whatever. So
yeah,
that's
you don't calculate money getting back. It's like you're getting it back anyways. It's irrelevant what happens to the project, right? So it's not like it's income. It's money out, money in. It's not, you're not making an increase of income. Your only income increases is 119,000, and that's what you want to know what you're making. Okay.
Yeah.
So I like Carlton if you can hit these numbers.
Mm-hmm.
Follow so far?
Yeah.
Now, can you, okay, a few other things about this spreadsheet that it's important to note. Maintenance on the unit. So we want to change the maintenance, which will also reflect your percentage changes. Okay. I don't know what the maintenance is. So 1,058.61. So once you get down to the point where you're saying, yeah, you know what, it's a green light or it's like on the fence, I'm potentially, then you go in and put in these other smaller numbers to give you more of a specific number.
Mm-hmm.
1,000, what was it? 28?
28, I think you said.
58 here. 1,058. 1,058.61. So this and insurance costs, it also has your estimated property taxes. If they have property taxes on here, 31.96. I'm not far off. This is 33. 31.96. So it's 3,200. Why you want to enter these numbers? It gives you a 4-month. This is a common maintenance, insurance, and property taxes. This is a 4-month calculation. So based in these numbers, it's based on you having to carry this property for a minimum of 4 months.
Is that your average project, you would say? For
my average construction is 4 to 6 weeks. Our average sale is under 30 days. It's usually under 2 weeks in not a non-pandemic market. And then the closings are usually 30 to 60 days. So our average is probably like 4 months start to finish like, you know, money came out of my hand on day one for the project and I get a check back from my lawyer on 4 months. So this project here next to it, 65 Skymark, this was 2 months. Okay. So my numbers here are pretty good. And so I paid $805 for the property. We sold it for $1,165. It closed in 2 months, not 4 months. So I can change all this down here if I want. Our construction cost was way lower than $94,000. I didn't have a second mortgage, so all that cost is gone. I don't want to take it out right now just because I don't want to mess up the spreadsheet too much. And the real estate commission, we only paid half to the agent. She was actually relative of the person who purchased it, so she took a cut on her commission. So in theory, if you calculate that, it was based on us getting 185. So 163, but that also accounts for like a higher construction cost and you know mortgage cost for 4 months that I didn't have. So my profit on this is just over 200,000, and we did it in 2 months. So from the time my check left my hand on closing day, I got the keys till the time I'm literally giving her the keys next week. It was 2 months, start to finish, 200 grand. Now I put money out of my pocket because I had my cash on hand and I didn't want to be too over leveraged in this market. which we'll talk about financing in a different day of why there's certain times when you want to leverage and certain times when you don't. I wanted to be more cash intensive on this one because I didn't want to be subject to the lenders in this market, because lenders have the ability, you may or may not know this, but lenders have the ability to pull financing at any point in time. Same with banks. It's built right into the contracts. If things go sideways, they'll call the loans on everybody just to get the money back. But it's neither here nor there. That's a topic for another day. Okay. So that gave me almost a 20% projected return. Okay.
So you had renovated this thing in under 2 weeks?
No, it was like 4 weeks. And then
4
it
weeks,
was
okay.
sold. It was sold in like 2 days, and then she closed
Wow.
it like it was like 3-week closing.
Oh wow, that's fast. Yeah,
Yeah, it's typical.
that's really fast.
Things that go past that, it's sort of a head scratcher for me when things go any longer. They really shouldn't take longer.
Mm-hmm.
But people come to me with ideas and projects all the time saying, hey, Steve, I got this great investment. It's a house and it's only going to take 1.5 years to build the thing. Year and a half? Why? I don't have 1.5 years. How much the profit? Oh, maybe $100,000. I'm like, get out of here. I'm not interested. Okay. So just different perspectives on things. That's all.
Yep.
So when you get to cash on cash return, my projecting, so this cash was significantly higher of what I invested. It was much more than 55,000 because I didn't have a second mortgage. I paid for the construction costs out of my pocket. So that, yeah, it's going to mess up the spreadsheet if I start dealing with this. But anyways, it's much higher. So I'll show you the numbers once we're done. We always do post analysis once we've sold the project and we have our spreadsheets in front of us. Then we say, here's what the actual cash on cash return was. It's significant. It was about a 60% return on my investment. In 2 months, 60% is astronomical for anybody.
Yeah.
But again, you can also do no money down financing. It's how I started my business, how I started my career. It's how a lot of people who are watching us, maybe yourself included, are saying, look, I don't have the money, but I want to get into this. What do? We do no money down financing. You'll still make 20% return on the overall project, and you'll make 296% return on your only cash requirement you got to put into it. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So that's that. So this is, it's not bad. I think this is a decent project. 77 Carlton's a decent project. We'll go on to the next one here. 296 mil. Okay, so Miller Street asking 559, 1132 is the maintenance. So that gives us a ballpark of square footage based on other sales. So there's not anything similar to it. Now, penthouses tend to be unique. A lot of the times they're larger, or there's fewer of them on the floor of penthouses. So there may not be an exact apples to apples comparison. There's also no history of someone buying and flipping in the building either. You'll know that you'll see the turnaround in when something is sold.
Yeah, the same unit.
Same unit.
Yeah.
Yeah, based on what I'm seeing, I don't think this is a green light anyways, but let's get into it. So 559, it's 1132. The closest one is probably this one here. It's a bungalow. What is it? I don't even know what this building is.
I think it's in West Toronto.
But it has like
So we'll go.
it says bungalow. Why is it? Oh, I think it's like a community. Yeah, it's like a housing community, I think, and the amenities are condo, like everyone shares the amenities kind of thing.
Oh, I see.
So this A6 is probably similar condition as the penthouse. See how bad this condition is? I'm not sure how well you can see this.
Yeah.
This is a terrible.
Okay, I can see it. Yeah.
But this is what I look for. This to me is gold. Okay. I love the parquet floors. I love the old crappy carpeting. I love the old exposed oak wood and the crappy kit. Nobody wants this stuff. Okay. They just don't. But it's not bad. It's probably clean. So the demo and stuff happens very quick. You don't have to worry about like hazmat suits and mold issues and stuff like that. Now you'll get into that when you do your inspection of the property, which happens after you get the property, which is really counterintuitive. And most people think I got three heads when I tell them put an offer on a property without seeing it. It's very contrarian. It's completely opposite what most people have been trained to do over the years. Is go look at properties all day long and then see what the one you want and then go and do it. Why? It's all numbers. It all comes down to numbers in real estate investing. Okay. So this is a potentially good property. Missed opportunity. It just sold. Oh no, it sold last year. That's just an old sale last year. There's not a lot of sales, which is it's not necessarily a good thing. Okay. Not bad, but it's not great either.
Well,
The
is that
larger
is that a
unit,
good thing in the sense that people like the building that they're not really selling? Would you look at it that way or no?
No, it's the demand. Like there's a lot of terminations and expireds, which means they were on the market, didn't sell. So the demand isn't necessarily there for the building. You know what I'm saying? So I'd be kind of hesitant on this project. I don't know if this is for me. This doesn't really pass the gut test. Okay.
Okay.
Let's see what they got. So there's another one here for sale. There's C2. It's hard to do a comparison. Like they're all different numbers, different letters. C2, like what's C2 based on A1? I don't know. They're all similar in size. This was renovated, it says. Doesn't look renovated. It's painted, maybe. I don't know about renovated.
No, the floors are still parquet and all that.
It looks like they renovated the kitchen.
Yeah, I would say updated, not renovated.
Yeah. Okay. So let's put this in anyways, just because you picked it. Because they're not all gonna be winners, right?
Yeah.
Sorry, what's the unit? Penthouse?
Penthouse 1.
15 square feet. So we type in 1215. Purchase, they're asking 559. Yeah, 520 sounds about right. Let's say it's 520. Okay, who knows? Projected sale price. There's nothing really of comparison here. Let's say 630. These are unrenovated though. What's this? 849. Oh, this is a nice renovation here. Yeah, that's a nice renovation.
They kept the parquet floors. They just
yeah. Look, it's parquet floor when done properly is a nice floor.
Yeah, it's not bad. Looks better and darker for sure.
Yeah, yeah. They got stairs. Yeah, this is well done actually. It's huge though. This is okay. On the low end, let's say it's 2,000 square feet. Okay, so if you get your calculator out, 849 divided by 2,000, 424 is the price per square foot on a renovated property times 15. Oops, times 15, 12. Yeah, it puts it at 641 on. Yeah, I got 640, so let's say it's 640. Yeah, that's a no-go. That's like you're losing money on this deal. Okay.
Yeah.
And so then like people play this game all the time. Like, why bother? Just go to the next one. It's like, oh, but what if I can get 800,000 from? Like, you can't, okay? Because when buyers come in here, they're not going to say, oh, let's just give this guy 800,000 just for the sake of it. Like, it doesn't work like that in real estate. So that's why these numbers you want to be strict on the numbers, and you want to say, like, look, this is a realistic thing. This is a realistic number. Like, what's going on here? Okay. If anybody walks in here, they're going to calculate the same way I just calculated. If you're a realtor or if you're worth a client, that's how you're going to do it. Okay. So why play the game that, oh, like what if? No, just go to the next one. Look, you already found a good one, 77-year-old. This one's terrible. Let's go to the next one. Okay, let's go to 2365 Queen Street. Where are we at here? Okay, it's only four properties, period. No sales at all. That's not good.
No. Okay.
So this goes back 2 years. So it's either a brand new building, which it's hard to make money in brand new buildings. Yeah, no, this is a no-go. I wouldn't have picked this property. No, it's not great. I know why it's not selling. It doesn't look good, but it's a terrible kitchen. Yeah, it's ugly. It's not good at all. Okay. Now, based on this, there's only 2 units ever been on the market. This
Yeah.
one and then this other one, 201. Neither one of them sold. Okay.
Yeah.
Now, at some point in time, some realtor told these people it's worth a heck of a lot more money than it actually is. For some reason, I don't know. It's beyond me. But you see this all the time. Okay. This is a fully renovated property, and it did not sell.
Yeah, that's nice.
It's nice. It's well done. Whoever did the renovation didn't do it to flip it. They certainly did it to live in. You can tell by the way it's finished and furnished. This isn't staged. This is like someone lives there. $1,079,000 terminated. Then they drop it to $899, or was the pre-renovation? Yeah, no, it's the same. Look, they dropped it. They dropped it $180,000. Like, I don't know. I don't see what you're looking at here on this one.
No.
What was your thought on it?
Well, I was just looking at some, like I didn't do the second stage, which was look at the sales. I mean, that's a big piece of the puzzle, right? If there's no sales, like what we're doing now for the building, I just looked at.
Look, I've done lots of buildings where there's no sales. It's a newer building and there's no history, and like you just set your own market. The problem is that's not a good reflection of what's going on in that building. If you drop your price 180 grand in a short period of time, in 1 month,
Yeah.
it still didn't sell. Doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, if I would
They're
have
already asking 800. Like, what are you going to get for it?
Yeah, exactly. No, if
You
I
know
would
you can't get $1,080,000. They couldn't get $1,080,000.
Yeah.
I don't think this is even worth our time to put in there. Okay.
No, I agree.
So let's just move on. But again, this is why you just do them quick. You get through like hundreds of properties a day. Like this takes no time at all, right? You just pick the best ones. So that's Mill Street. What are we on now? Heath Street, which I like the neighborhood. Oh man, yeah. Okay. Getting away here. So we're 1002, 1002, 1002. 849. Something else on the market other than this property. 1294 maintenance. There's one that's bigger and it's sold for 798. So we'll see if it might be an unrenovated property. This one sold for 825, a little bit higher, relatively the same property. Price per square foot, anyways. These are much larger. Yeah, I know the building quite well. I've never done anything in here myself, but it's a good neighborhood, and people got money. This does not show well, and it's sold for a high price. So that's the neighborhood. It's an expensive neighborhood. So this one is 849. Yeah, see parquet floors, which again you can keep them. You don't have to. We'll get into sort of like walkthroughs of properties once you get something under contract. I'll take you through a property and we'll show you like maybe you can keep the parquet floors to save on budget. Maybe you take them out. Maybe like there's a lot of things you can do, but at the end of the day, taking it out and putting new flooring down is really what people want when you're trying to sell for a premium.
Yeah.
Yeah, look, this is typical of what I look at. Okay, popcorn ceilings, terrible kitchens, terrible flooring.
Yeah.
The bathrooms I doubt have been done.
You there? Hello?
Something out there. So 1003, still unrenovated, but bigger. There's nothing that's that's been on the market that's sold renovated.
Right. So that's key, I guess, when you do your analysis, is, some good comps to justify.
Well, you want to know there's a flow to the building. You want to know that people are willing to pay a premium for a renovated property. Maybe everyone in the building just likes old properties. Like, maybe there's buildings out there that are like that. They have budgets and they're constrained by where they can live based on a number of factors.
Mhm.
And one of them is saying, I don't want a renovated property. I want these old things because it's all I can afford. But to me, I can make this place look gorgeous. That I know. But is it worth our time? So today we're talking about property analysis. So let's put this in the analysis sheet. So it's $849 they're asking. This is 260 Heath. 1224 square footage. It's $849 they're asking. And our projection, there's nothing really to go on. So 12, that's same. These are bigger. Let's say like price per square foot. Like if you do a ballpark of $1,000 a square foot. If you don't know, sort of an average right now in the city of Toronto is $1,000 a square foot, which would put us at 1.1, like that. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
That's an average price to square foot of the whole city. So I would have to do more work on this one. It hits the numbers. It's at 24%, right? It's a green light. I'd further investigate this potentially. It's got a delta of almost 366. That's based on us giving full asking price. You can easily get to 400,000. 849 to 799 is not too far off. Okay, so that puts you at a $400,000 delta with a giant assumption you can get $1,000 a square foot for the building, which there's no evidence of that. Okay, so I'd have to do a little bit more investigation on this one, but it hits the numbers. And if you want, you can go down here and you can plug in the maintenance if you want. If you want to get more detailed information, let me see, they're asking $1,294. And property taxes. Okay. So there's your numbers, 32%, highest one yet, but a huge assumption on that 1.215, big assumption. Like, I don't think you'd get that. I don't think that's the right number.
Right.
If we change that back down to, what's 7? It's 911, yeah. So if you put it at 750, so the older condos tend to get less.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so if you go down to like a normalized, like this was at 7 something a square foot on Mill Street and same with Carlton, that puts you at a loss on that one, right? 911.
Yeah.
But you know that other units in the building sold for more. I think 980, 1199. They're bigger. They sold this year. There's also an estate sale. Yeah, like all these are like, look, there's potential. Then a few months, you're going to start seeing a lot of these pop. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 properties all need renovation work. So you may see in the next few months, all 5 of these come back to market and they're huge numbers and people are buying them. Then you can go back and revisit the building. Say, yeah, it was a missed opportunity because these guys got a huge number. See what I'm saying?
Right.
At this point in time, I can't make that decision. And I don't like being a pioneer. Most pioneers get slaughtered in anything. So why be a pioneer? There's so much out there. Like we're looking at 5 properties out of 160 you could probably be looking at today. Okay.
Yeah.
So you just move on to the next one, right? Like it doesn't make a difference. This is why it's quick work. We'll go from there. So 278 Bloor. 17, more history, which is good. So we're at 406. 406. Yeah, this looks. Yeah, this looks really good. This is really good potential. So get this one. Seems too good, actually. So they don't give the square footage. That's just the agent not doing their job again. But at the low end, it's 1,200. It's between 12 to 1,400 square feet. So we want the worst case scenario. So let's say it's, the problem is using 1,400 square feet. It's going to throw things off. But let's use the larger number. Okay. It's going to throw off your price per square foot on the sale price. So let's just see what we can come up with. Yeah, this is just down the street from the office. This is wow.
Yeah.
Hideous.
Yeah.
So dark. Yeah, terrible kitchen. This is for Yorkville. Like, that's terrible. Wow. Whoa.
Yeah, that's pretty bad.
These are the windows, apparently.
No, I know they have shutters. The old
Shutters on the windows. That'd be the first thing you get rid of.
I've never seen that before.
I have, yeah. They're very common. It was an old school thing, like in the 70s and 80s. People were like, yeah, let's put shutters on these beautiful windows. Like, you don't see the windows then.
Yeah.
Yeah, this old kitchen. This is like this is like in the 80s for sure. Okay, so I'm liking what I'm seeing so far. Now, it says a 1-bedroom, 2-bathroom. It doesn't make sense because everything else in here is 2 bedrooms of that size. So you have 1,076 square feet. This one here, there's no other 06 it sold. Other than this one, 1706, which is currently on the market. And it's a 2-bedroom and a den, 2-bathroom, same size, same maintenance. So it's the same unit. So did the guy take all his rooms out and just make one room? I don't know. I'd have to go and see the property, but I'm really interested. Like, these numbers are very promising.
So that's a question for you. In terms of renovation with the condo, do we have the option to add rooms, remove rooms? Like, what are the limitations?
Of course. The limitations.
Structurally, how the condo.
Look, when it comes to condominiums, it's not like a house. Okay, you can't just put up like a wooden beam and open up a wall. Okay, if there's a concrete pillar that's 6 feet wide by 2 feet thick, you're not moving it. Okay, so just design around it, kind of thing. So when it comes to interior walls, and most condominiums, though, they have very small. They'll have very small structural members to hold up the next floor. So most of the interior walls, demising walls, are removable, changeable, shiftable. You can put it sort of wherever, as long as the property management group gives you permission to do so. Follow so far?
Yeah.
Okay. So this, to me, is a winner. Okay. I just, when I say, last time, if you remember, I'm saying you're looking for squirrels. This is a squirrel. Okay. Now they put carpet in, which is odd, but different structure.
Is this a comp in the same building? What did this sell for?
The same unit, just a higher floor.
Oh, same unit.
And it's currently on the market. It's currently on the market for 1.229.
Yeah.
They haven't gotten. It looks like it's the smallest unit in the building, these 06s, because if you look at this one, this is like the next bump up, 1202. Larger, 1,478 square feet. So this here, this is a recent sale. Times, sorry, 1,478. So if you're at 896 a square foot, which is pretty typical for downtown Yorkville renovated. If you're into like the new buildings, like less than 10 years, you're into $1,300 to $1,800 a square foot in Yorkville. So 896 is really not far off. So if you take 896 and you multiply it, we said 1,400 because we don't know the exact square footage. It puts you at 1.255, which is in line with everything else, by the way. This is a good one, man. Yeah, look at that. That's your best one yet. 61%.
Wow.
It's a no-brainer. And I think, what did we say? Full price, right? Oh, sorry. I did that wrong. Sorry. I got too excited.
That's natural.
Yeah. I'm excited regardless. This is a good one. You'll see. What did I say? 1255. Still, 13%. Still, it's still good, but that's assuming we're giving full asking price, which we wouldn't. It's sitting on the market. For how long? 109 days. And they're originally asking 1.2 million, Colin. Now they dropped it at 948. Come on, this is a no-brainer.
Yeah, they're motivated.
They're motivated. They're super motivated. Okay. So they'd probably get an offer from me for like 840 and just start the negotiation.
Mm-hmm.
See what I'm saying? So this is where you go through the numbers. I don't have to leave my desk. I can literally do 100 of these properties a day, put in 20 offers and see which one sticks. And when you become good at negotiating, is the best person in any negotiation is the ones willing to walk away from the deal. Have you ever heard that before?
Yes.
I'm always willing to walk away from the deal, because if you don't want to take my offer, guess what? Look at the list of stuff I've built today. I can go to any of these properties and make the money I want to make. So I'm willing to walk away from any deal. Here's my offer for 840. You don't want it? See ya. On to the next one. Okay, I'm going to go to Heath Street, and I'm going to go to Mill Street, and I'm going to go to Carl. See what I'm saying? I'm always willing to walk away from the deal. And I tell them that up front. I say, I'm an investor. This is purely just a numbers game. If you want this offer, I'm willing to close it really quick. No conditions other than status review. And you go from there. And that's how I get a lot of properties for way under what they should be selling for. And you go in and you get it under contract. Now, I would get this under contract, make conditional on status certificate. I'd probably make conditional on not an inspection, but just a viewing of the property. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And then I go into the property once they've agreed to a price, if we do agree to a price. And then you walk through the property, and then you take we have another, again, I'll walk you through this on another training session. We're sort of getting along on the session today. And you have a checklist, and you say, okay, this is what I need to do. And you go through the checklist, and that will determine your budget. This one has a budget based on $50 a square foot at $1,400 per square foot. That the construction cost is going to be $70,000. So in Yorkville, you most likely will do a higher end renovation anyways. Okay, so this number might be higher based on depending on what's in there. Follow so far?
Yeah. So
like you're not going to throw an IKEA kitchen in Yorkville.
So you think
I might need to bump this to 60.
Yeah.
Let's say it's 65. Okay, just because it's Yorkville. Okay.
Right.
Which still hits your 11. It still hits your 10%. It's still a green light.
Right.
All right. The thing I love about this size property is it's hard to spend money on these condos at $1,400, 1,400 square feet, because the kitchens are very small, the bathrooms are very small. So you could put high-end, nice, like marble finishes in the bathrooms, and it doesn't cost you a lot of money because they're tiny. It's not like these homes we have these 10 by 10 size bathrooms. These things are small. These are like 5 feet by 4 feet or 5 feet by 3 feet. They're very small bathrooms, but you can make them look really incredible. So let's say we know we're not getting full asking price, but they may, because they've dropped the price so much, they may say, hey, that's the price. That's the bottom line. As an estate sale, I doubt it, but let's say it's $850. Okay. That puts you at 25%. It's still your best one of the day.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay.
So I just bought, this is a good project, by the way. A missed opportunity. They didn't take my offer and they sold it to someone else for really not much. It was like 10,000 more than what I gave them, which is really frustrating. And it's on the market right now for just over 1.365. This is a really big project. So the potential profit on this one was $367,000 return.
Where was that?
On St. Clair.
I can't see. Oh, St. Clair in what avenue?
No, Young Street. So it's like
Yeah.
it's some of the most expensive real estate in the city, and it's a building that it had a hard time selling. This went to market like in March or April, like right at the height of COVID, the first wave, and nobody touched the thing. And I was too cautious. I was like, I gave them an offer, but I was like, I don't even know if I want it. So I wasn't too concerned. They didn't take my price. So I go on to the next one. I bought something else, which I also made a big number on. But if this does sell, they actually sold this for less than $850. I think it was my offer was $790. They sold for $800,000. And
wow.
they're going to make this a big project for someone. But again, it's a small place, 1,200 square feet. So you can make it a really high-end finish for not that much money because it's so small. Everything's based on a square footage, right?
Yeah.
That's what condominiums are so great. Like I don't have a basement to do. I don't have landscaping to do. There's no roof to do. There's no windows or doors to do. It's literally going in, fixing up the floors, changing up design, maybe doing a finish on the wall, doing nice kitchens, nice bathrooms, and you're back. That's what I'm saying. If you're like, how do you do it in 4 weeks? There's not that much to do in a condominium. There really isn't.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Right? And 4 weeks is a lot of time for most contractors. These, my contracting crew, they get in with 3 guys, sometimes 5 guys, and they knock these things out. In 1 week, they'll do demo, framing, drywall, electrical, plumbing, rough in the first week.
Wow.
So then they got 3 weeks to finish a thing.
Yeah, that's really fast.
It's very fast, yeah. So the place I just bought, well, there's 2 of them, but this one I can now reveal to the world. It's under contract.
What does that say? Oh, Skymark. Okay. Yeah.
Okay, we got for $890. I think it was at $890. Can't remember now. I think it was $890. Back end sale price is going to be okay. So that's my numbers on that property. Okay, so I hit my $400,000 delta.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I look for. Okay, again, there's a lot of people out there who do a $300,000 delta and they're happy with a $120,000 return. I'm like, the same time, energy, and effort, I can make double the amount of money. Why not just do that?
Yeah, for sure.
But you got to remember where most people are coming from. So if you're talking to clients or yourself or whatever you're doing this for, you have to say, what do you want? What's the target? Like, what are you aiming at? And I think part of the lessons as we go through this stuff is you have to have a target in mind. Like if your target is to make $1 million this year, well, you have to do 5 of these projects. Can you do 5 projects this year with none of your own money? The answer should be 100% absolutely yes.
Mm-hmm.
If you have the right strategy and hopefully coach, which is hopefully is me, coaching you through this thing step by step by step. And I think these videos will help you out.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
Yeah. So, and the other project I bought was back in 65. So this one's 2,200 square feet. This was 923. I'll sell that. Okay, so there you go. $445,000 delta, $200,000 profit. Like I'm literally closing a deal today, Friday, Thursday.
Today's Friday.
Next Tuesday, I'm getting, and these are numbers, by the way, Colin, I keep going in. This is worst case scenario with 100% down financing. I'm paying, look, $50,000 in mortgage fees on a second mortgage that I don't have. So you have to add another 50,000 on here because I'm not going to be doing that.
Right.
But if you want to do no money down financing, if you have no money, you say, okay, I'm going to make 200,000 on my first deal as opposed to 255,000. I'm going to get somebody else to finance the entire thing for me.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
All right. So that's another topic for another day, but I think that's enough for today. You've got some fantastic opportunities here. I think if I were you now, I would now take this spreadsheet. I would kick out Heath. I would kick out Mill Street. Heath, there's not enough history. I think I would wait to see something else pop. And if it sells for a good number, go back to it. Okay. Mm-hmm. It may not be there, but then at least you put on your sort of like a feather in your cap and say, yeah, that's a building that has potential. Okay. But look, you've got Carlton, Bloor. What was the other one? Oh, the other one we threw out because it wasn't.
Yeah.
Anyways,
basically so Carlton and Bloor.
You got 2 good ones. What I would do today, I'd try and get 8 more if you can. And then of the 8, prepare offers, you put in your name, give them an offer, conditional on status, conditional on financing, conditioning on whatever you want it to be on condition. And give them an offer and see what they say. But again, we'll talk about that another day. But I think that's enough for you. We're just talking about property analysis. That's, I think, a good start in property analysis, and hopefully that helps you out. And if you have any questions, I can take them now. Otherwise, we'll get off this and go on to the next one.
No, sounds good. I don't have any questions. No, pretty self.
Yeah. Like pertaining specifically to the spreadsheet. You may have lots of questions, but to pertain to the spreadsheet.
Yeah, I'll have to play around. I mean, So once I play on my own, but it looked, what you're doing looked pretty simple.
Yeah, it's straightforward. And again, this is a worst case scenario. I'd detail this now. I'd go in and detail. Now that you know Bloor is a good one. Did we do maintenance on this? I don't think we did.
No.
It just makes the numbers even better. That's 1,076. And property tax, 988. So it's $4,000. Okay, makes numbers even better on Bloor. That's a good one. Potentially a good one if you can get it for 850 and I'm pretty sure, I'm really confident you'd sell for 1.255, like maybe more actually, depending on the view. It's a low floor, so they don't sell as well, but it's south side.
Yeah,
but you're staring right into a tree here.
Oh, that's no good.
It's not horrible. It has potential. Anyways, I would do that one. I would do those 2 offers at a minimum today. And I would try and find 8 more. So you have 10 offers to do. It shouldn't take you more than an hour to do 10 offers. And then you get the ball rolling and then that's it. You're off to the races.
Okay.
All right.
And then next session, we'll talk about putting offers together.
Next session, we'll talk about offers, preparation, what it should look like. Obviously, you're a realtor, you sort of know how it works, but I'll build a video so that anybody watching can realize how easy it is to build an offer, what the offer should look like so you win them more often. What you do once you get it under contract, how do you get out of it? Can you back out of it? Can you assign it? We'll go through all that. But the key thing as any investor, especially as realtors, which I'm shocked more realtors don't do this, get the property under contract so then you can control it. Then you have choices. You can buy it for yourself, you can get a partner, or you can assign it, you can wholesale it, you can make a commission on it. There's so many things you can do once you have that thing locked up. And if you have a property locked up, when you have a cool spreadsheet like this, guess what? It's really easy to sell to people.
So is there like an escape clause in case you don't want to close?
You have conditions. You don't need an escape clause. Escape clause will muddy the waters. Again, we'll get into that in contract negotiation. I want to be more focused on the numbers today.
Okay.
But quick answer is yes. Okay. Any condition, you can put an escape clause in that. I don't recommend it, but you can certainly do an escape clause. And you don't need an assignment clause just because you can sign any contract, and you do a separate assignment contract to buy the other paperwork. So you really don't need it. But we'll get into detail of that on the next session. Okay.